The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet, with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can comment on my writings, whether you agree with me or not. Sorry about that, just kind of moving the microphone. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We're syndicated across the United States into 12 million additional households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Boaz Frankel, for filling in for me yesterday. I was at the Journey concert at the PNC Center in New Jersey. It was an awesome show. The two opening acts were awesome as well. And I would highly recommend it if they come to your neighborhood. You know, it's funny. I was watching this just great concert and seeing all kinds of people in all different styles of dress coming together. This is a very I don't know. I didn't want to say proletariat. We have kind of like a mixing bowl in the United States, right, where people from all around the world get together. They come together. We enjoy our music. If you don't like rock and roll, well, there's something else for you. And there are those who would like to take all that away from us because they want to impose their way of life on the rest of us. I kind of, believe it or not, while I was watching this wonderful concert, thought a little bit about that. And I'm thinking about that now as I introduce our guest. You know, the Department of Homeland Security has just issued an 83-page plan on how to deal with emergencies here in the United States, threats to this country. Those of you who are joining us from outside the United States, pay attention, because this affects you potentially as well. But there's one possible scenario that the Department of Homeland Security seems to be ignoring, and it's something that could cripple the country. And that's the threat of an EMP attack. That's an electromagnetic pulsing attack. Electricity grids would be shut down. There would be natural gas explosions. There would be no communications. You wouldn't be able to dial 911. Even if you could dial 911, the cops couldn't talk to one another on the radio. I would imagine the traffic signals would go out. It would be just complete chaos. You wouldn't be able to get your money out of the bank, etc. Now, this was considered a threat during the Cold War because it was feared that the Russians or perhaps the Chinese might emit a nuclear blast in the atmosphere over the country, and it would cause for there to be some kind of this what they call an EMP attack. And they actually, as I understand it, and our guest will explain better than I can, they actually started manufacturing electronics in a way to protect them from EMP attacks. But since the Berlin Wall came down and the threat was minimized, they felt, my understanding is that the standards were reduced and they no longer are producing electronics in a way to withstand such an attack. Well, there is one commission, the lone voice crying out in the wilderness, the Federal EMP Commission, that has been looking into this situation, has been testifying before Congress, hasn't been getting the kind of attention that Paris Hilton and Madonna and Britney Spears gets. Maybe it's not as important as all that, but I kind of think that it's a little bit more important to you and me. And so I have asked the Executive Director of the EMP Commission, Michael Frankel, to come on and join us today to tell us a little bit about the threat. Dr. Michael Frankel is one of the nation's leading experts on the effects of nuclear weapons, and he formerly served as the Associate Director to the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, where he analyzed nuclear threats on behalf of the United States Senate. He was also a research physicist at the White Oak Naval Surface Weapons Center and represented the United States in an ally nuclear threat reduction collaborative. He holds a PhD in theoretical physics from New York University. Dr. Michael Frankel, no relation, I understand, to my producer Boaz Frankel, but a fine surname indeed, regardless. Welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi, Gary.
Hi. So, was my introduction a fair synopsis of the threat against the United States?
Well, it's a synopsis, and it was kind of fair. What I should probably say is that while this kind of threat evolved during the Cold War, if you will, it's something that was not only taken seriously by the military back then, but continues to be taken very seriously by the military. The problem, or the potential problem, is that the United States military is extremely dependent upon its technological advantages. We don't have as many boots on the ground, if you will, and we make up for that with our technology, with our sensors, with our ability to direct fire control, with our situational awareness, which all give great advantages and allow our forces to fight numerically much superior kinds of threats. So it's all the technological advantage which we possess, which depend really on the functioning of our electronics. It's also extremely important to the military to have secure communications. By secure, I don't just mean that communications which people can't listen into, but communications which will be robust, which will allow commanders to communicate with their forces, which will allow the president to communicate absolutely without any possibility of the chain being broken to command the strategic forces of the United States. All of those electronic issues are at risk and remain at risk from electromagnetic interference in the form of electromagnetic pulse from nuclear devices. And the military, you can be quite certain, has taken in the past and is continuing to take very serious steps to protect the continued functioning and viability